So here I am in my kitchen and I am doing a fertilizer experiment of trying to find out what the pH is of my garden soil. So one of the things I did earlier is, as I go over to my range, you will see that I took some red cabbage and I boiled it and took out the red anthocyanin pigments, and you can see then that as I come back over here, I have decanted the solution into a jar where I can use this red cabbage juice as an indicator. I went to my garden and I took several small samples of soil, filled it with distilled water and stirred it around, and then I let it settle and decanted into this particular jar, this glass. And then I went and made what is called a standard. So I had a solution of lemon juice, vinegar, distilled water, which is from my reverse osmosis filter, and I even put some 10-60-10 fertilizer from this particular company for blooming roses and flowering plants. Then I also took baking soda and borax laundry and some sodium hydroxide. I'm going to test my garden soil, and I'm going to also test this particular fertilizer. Now, when I put about 10 milliliters of the red cabbage juice into the acid, like lemon juice, it turned that particular red color. You can see vinegar is almost the same color, a little darker. Distilled water holds the color, just dilutes the red cabbage juice. And over here, I have the baking soda is starting to turn a little bit darker. But then when I get to this one, it really changed color. And when I get to the lye or the sodium product, it turned kind of a yellow color. It tells me the difference between, we could say, an acid on the left and base material on the right. So from the pH scale, pH 7 is distilled water. That's what pH 7 would look like. This is what a pH of 2 would look like, and this is what a pH of probably 12 to 14 would look like. So I created this particular standard. Now, I'm going to now take a little sample, and I'm going to pour a little bit of this cabbage juice right into my soil water and some into the fertilizer. And we're going to see what kind of color I have come up with. Well, you can see that I'm actually a little bit darker than pH of 7 at neutral. I'm probably closer to this particular one right here, which was the sodium carbonate. Now, so that tells me the pH in my garden is probably a little higher than 7, which is actually good for vegetables. You want it to be between 6 and 7 is the optimal pH for growing garden vegetables. The roots will absorb the nutrients that much better. Well, let's go ahead and compare the 10 by 60 by 10 fertilizer. You can see that's even a little bit stronger, a little bit higher pH. So I know that if I add this to my plants, I'm going to be increasing the pH value a little bit around that particular plant.